I have gained 15 pounds while on a GLP-1 medication. It's fine. I'm fine. Really. Hi, I'm Diane. I'm 59 years old, postmenopausal, and I've been on a GLP-1 medication since November of 2022, and I've lost 104 pounds. I want to begin by saying I'm not a medical professional. Therefore, all statements merely reflect my personal opinions and experiences and should not be considered medical advice. Always consult with your medical team for your specific dietary and medical needs. And also, I am in no way suggesting you should follow my plan or eat specifically what I eat. Everyone's journey is different and we all have different goals. Okay, so with that out of the way, as the title of this video suggests, I have actually gained weight on a GLP-1 medication. 15 pounds in fact. So yes, it is possible to gain weight while taking a GLP-1. That's why when people say that we're taking the easy way out or we're cheating, it really makes me angry. GLP-1 medications are a tool and you need to use them properly, along with making lifestyle modifications in order to get full benefits. So what happened? Life happened. Life came hard at me over the course of several months. I had a bunch of bad and stressful things happen to me in quick succession. Briefly, I had 2 pets pass away after several months of illnesses. Another one of my pets spent 3 nights in the emergency ER, and post-hospitalization, he requires daily care. Then a close family member of mine passed away suddenly. I've also been dealing with a couple of injuries, and I had the flu. Both of those things really limited my ability to work out. And late last summer, my husband got a promotion at work and basically has been working almost 7 days a week. Therefore, I've sort of had to pick up the slack around the house. It's been really stressful, and honestly, there are times where I have felt completely overwhelmed. It got to the point where I didn't have the mental bandwidth or even the energy to consistently meal prep and track my meals. And that led me to falling into some old bad habits. Pretty amazing how quickly that can happen. Because I was so overwhelmed, I gravitated towards quick and easy meals and not necessarily ones that were as nutritious as I would like. And I made some really bad choices, and that's 100% on me. I've always been an emotional eater, and so my emotions were running really high during this period. And well, you can guess what happened next. Despite all of that happening, for the first time in my life, I did not beat myself up for gaining weight. I think like most of you, we've tried almost every diet under the sun. I know I've tried Atkins, 21-day fix, keto, and Weight Watchers multiple times. I would lose some weight, something would happen, and then I would start to gain again. And as the scale went up, I would get frustrated and I would quit. Rinse and repeat for my entire life, and I think a lot of you can relate to that. But this time was different. Because of Mounjaro, I knew I had the tools that would allow me to get back on track. So instead of giving up, I gave myself grace. And I decided while I was going through this rough patch, I would start to come up with a plan for what to do when things settle down. Rather than trying to implement the entire plan all at once, I decided to start by making small changes. And I knew I wasn't going to be perfect, but I at least tried to be consistent. Unfortunately, as much as we would love for our weight loss journeys to be linear, they never are. And I was determined that this was just going to be a minor setback, not a major fail. I've said before on this channel that I'm not a great cook, and I do not even like to cook. So I started looking for ways that would simplify the meal prep and not be overwhelming to me. And I came up with a plan that greatly reduced my decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is such a huge thing for me. I'm one of those people that cannot eat the same meal day after day after day. So meal prepping 5 meals at a time, I would eat it for couple of days. By the 3rd day, it would start to be like, I don't want to eat this anymore. And I would end up wasting food. And that led to more stress. With the small changes that I started to implement, I've already lost 4 of the 15 pounds that I had gained. And I did all of that without tracking a single mouthful of food. Now, I know that's not going to work for everyone, and I'm not advocating that for you, but for me, at this point in my journey, it has been such a relief. And I've been at this long enough so that I have a general idea of how many calories, how many carbs, how much protein, how much fiber I'm eating during the course of a day. Not having that added pressure to measure and weigh and track every mouthful of food really reduced my stress level. But that's not to say that I'll never track my food again. I think what I'm going to do is just from time to time, maybe a couple of days a week, go ahead and track whatever I'm eating just to make sure that I'm not overindulging. So I feel like I have the food part of my plan in a good place right now. My next step is to come up with a workout plan. Between my injuries and having the flu, I haven't really worked out that much this year. I'm also one of those people who find the treadmill and the stationary bike at the gym so incredibly boring. I would much rather be outside and breathing the fresh air and doing those activities outside. And our winter has been particularly snowy and really, really cold. So I wasn't able to get out as much as I would like. But with the better weather coming, my plan is to get myself outside to walk and to ride my bike. And I can't wait. I feel like I'm restarting my whole GLP-1 journey after 3 years. What's really interesting is having the flu sort of helped that. Prior to getting sick, I wasn't really getting much appetite suppression and the food noise was back, even though I was on 12.5 milligrams of Mounjaro. I don't know if there's any correlation, but ever since having the flu, my appetite is greatly reduced and some of the food noise has been quieted. And that was very much my experience when I started Mounjaro back in November of 2022. Now those effects have lessened a little bit, but I definitely still have a lot of appetite suppression. And the food noise, it's still there a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it had been before I got sick. So the first time in a while, I kind of feel like I'm in a good place. I'm actually hopeful and I'm looking forward to the rest of my journey because I still have a long way to go. I'm sure I'm not the only person that has felt this way. If you have, what have you done to get through it? Please share your experience down in the comments. And if you're going through this right now and need support, please feel free to reach out to me. The GLP-1 community is fantastic. I have learned so much. I'm happy to share what I've learned or provide support to anybody who needs it. If you found this video informative or entertaining, I'd greatly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. I will talk to you again soon. Take care.
Give a little bit of loving, just a little bit the real thing.